Aliza, the radio.
Good Tuesday afternoon to you all, YouTube. It is shortly after 1:03. As a matter of fact, have something I wanted to mention. I mentioned this in my Buick update earlier. I want to do some wiring here. Nothing major. It will involve the mood lights here in the bench. Every time I come to do something at the bench, I generally turn those lights on, and that way I can see. A lot of times when I come in here, it is dark, and if this chair is sticking out, I may trip over it, things like that. So what I'm going to do, I don't know how well you can see it, but back here on this upright on the shelf, the two ferrite strips that go up through there, I'm going to mount the switch there on the side of that. And that way I can turn the lights on for the mood lights as soon as I come in here. That way I can see where I'm going, and it will also make it handier to turn them off at night, because a lot of times I'll just leave those on all day because they don't really take much electricity, and they give a nice little light in here. And like I said, it's just perfect for what I want. And that's what I'm thinking about doing. It won't take much of a wire to run over there. I'll just basically run it over here through the shelves and get it over there. I've got them little wire, U-shaped wire through the nails. I can put that through there and get everything like I want it. And that should take care of that problem. It's not really a problem, but I just want to do that. I also made mention of the in the Buick video of my Aliza radio that we looked at yesterday, and then I realized, when I was putting the video up, because it, they go in order, that won't even be shown till tomorrow. So you guys are watching that video on the Buick and saying, what's wrong? What's with the Aliza? But see, I've already taken and tried to get it working, and we found out that it didn't seem to be having voltage inside the radio and stuff like that. So I want to take the back off of that and look and see, measure some voltages and things like that to see if we can tell what the problem is. If it's the internal transformer that takes the AC down to the small DC that it takes, or what. And just see if I can real quick work on that a little bit. Nothing drastic. It's just something I want to do, and I think it won't take that long to do. And so I'm going to do that, and I probably will bring you back and show you the result of the wiring for the switch when I get it done. I have to pick up Lexi at 2:45 this afternoon. The baby has a doctor's appointment at 3 something, and take her to that, and then she's done for the day there at where she works. So maybe if I don't get this done before I go pick her up, I'll try to get it done afterwards. You guys saw the Buick update. We're going to give that to 7 days or whatever it takes to see if we can get that broke. I think it's working. I really do, because for one thing, it's showing voltage on it now. It's, I think, at 1.4 or something, and I really don't think it had that before, because I just didn't think there was anything there at all. I think the water helped a little bit, and like I said, that what I'm understanding, that breaks up the whatever it is on the plates of the battery, the acid, and puts that back down into the battery and into the water, and mixes that back in, and basically the same as putting new acid in, I guess is what I'm saying. But that's what's going on. That battery charger sends pulses of I don't know how high of voltage it does, but it does send pulses in there to break up that stuff on the plates, and I think it's working, so I'm happy about that. I'll be really happy if I can bring this battery back and not have to buy another battery, because batteries are not cheap. And the way it's going to go is this: we're going to give it the 7 days or whatever. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to try. I've seen a lot of people refurbishing batteries on the internet. Wally is one of the guys that does that, and I'm going to talk to him and see when he gets done with his medical procedure, and see if he has some ideas about it, and we'll go from there. I'm not going to totally give up on the battery, even if the reconditioning doesn't work, but I am going to try my best to bring this thing back so I don't have to buy another battery. I just hate the thought of spending whatever I spent, and I know it was probably close to $100 on a battery just to start the car up and drive it into the garage. So I'm sorry, that's just wasteful in my opinion. So that's that. Let me get on to the Aliza, and we'll take a look at that real quick. What I'm going to do is, before I even put the camera on, is take the back loose and get some voltage readings on it, and we'll see what we got, and then we'll bring the camera up and we'll show you what we got. So stay tuned. Alright, we are back again. As I said, what I've done here, instead of trying to find out about the transformer, I've just gone and hooked up the, as you can see, here's the battery compartment, and put the switch to DC, which should allow us to basically use that 9-volt supply, just to see if this thing is working or not. Get me a good hookup here for the voltages, and then we'll give it a shot. If we get some noise out of it this way, we'll know that's probably an indication that transformer is no good, and that will be a good thing to know. Now I don't have I'm just gonna have to hold it on there and then switch it on. It is on. Not getting anything at all. So I'm pretty sure I've got 9 volts coming in. That I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 20. Okay. Yep, 9 volts. Alright, so we know that, again, there is 9 volts. I'm going to turn this around, make sure that it is on DC. We'll play over that switch a little bit. So there's your charging light on AC. I'm not really sure why that's coming on. I don't have it plugged in. Obviously that's working. I guess that's the pilot light, I'm guessing. Maybe. Wouldn't think you would have a light like that on a battery set, though. I don't know. But it only comes on AC, so let me turn that all the way up. Switch this around a little bit. Not getting anything there. Tuning. Nothing going there. So I do have the back off of this, so I guess we can go ahead and look at that. While we're at it, I want to go ahead and get these out of the way so they don't short out. When I say I have the back off, I have the back loose, we'll put it that way. And you can see there's not much in here really. This is basically a little transistor radio, a little pocket radio in a big case. You'll see what I'm talking about here in just a second. There you go. So, really not much to it. A lot of dirt in there, debris. But like I said, there again, we could be looking at a earphone problem. This does have the earphones with it. Now, this is really a complete radio. Kind of surprised by that. Also on this, you may have recalled, this is broke out on the end. The piece that is broke out is also in here. So that is going to be fixable. So that's going to be a decent, really decent little radio, I think. Probably what I want to do is take a little closer look, I guess, at that, there's some, what do you call it in there, debris. There's your little switch right there that switches it from earphone to speaker. We could play with that a little bit, see if that makes any difference. Go ahead and hook it back up and do that. I'm gonna let that, just leave that on there for now and go from there. There's also a possibility the wires on the other end of this battery thing is not connected. So there's a lot of different possibilities here, because I have not heard anything out of the speaker at all. And I would think you'd hear something. You know. Wish I could take and figure out, let's see, I think that might be our wire from the, it comes over here and then goes right up to the switch. So I don't know if this is going to be our positive, you know, there's another thing, well no, it has to be, that has to be working because that AC switch or that light's coming on. So that has to be working. I'm wondering if we go right directly to that. Huh, nothing there. No, I'm just gonna guess this radio is just not working. And again, I've played with that quite a bit. Of course, that's not no, you know, no guarantee that it's going to work just because I'm playing with it. But I'm making contact. I'm trying to make contact, put it that way, with the screwdriver in between it, like that, just to hold some pressure there. See if that has anything at all to do with it. Doesn't seem to. So I think the next step on this one is going to be to take out the board and the radio itself. Hopefully I can get all that out in one piece, I think, and should all come out together, I hope. And we'll go from there. I know the switch comes all, it's got screws in it. This piece here comes out. Like I say, that's the plan. Let me do that and we'll come back and check it out. Stand by. Oh, let me tell you one more thing. Also over here, back to our power supply, that removing that switch now is going to allow me to go all the way over to that plug or receptacle, whatever you want to call it. So that's going to be that much longer, you know, to make that thing. But I'm still thinking of using the side with the 3 holes in it, and maybe that will make a 4th hole. I don't know. We'll see. But that's just basically how I'm going to do it. I haven't done any more on that. I need to get that back to that, because you guys seem to like that part of it. And so let me get this Aliza tore apart here, and we'll come back and take a look at that. Alright, well, here's what we got. With the minus hooked to, this is the meter minus is what I'm talking about. Let me get this extra clip lead off. Minus meter lead hooked to the spring there on the battery connector, which it should be negative. I've got the radio plugged in. I've got it on AC. If the middle connector of these switch, in other words, this is your input here to it. Should have it there, and I do. Let's see if I can find it again. 6 point, well, almost 7 volts right now, just right there. Now, if I go to the middle lug, which should be switched in, it is 6.97 volts. So there is 7 volts going from this middle lug into the radio. Now, the interesting thing is, if I turn the radio off, and this is the on-off switch on the control. Right now, I have the battery voltage that we just read, or not the battery, but the AC voltage. And when I say AC, that's rectified DC from the AC transformer. In other words, this transformer is putting out voltage. And I'm on the on-off switch. I have 6.97 volts DC. Now watch what happens when I turn it on. It's gone. It goes away completely. It's 0.01. So obviously there either is a dead short here somewhere or something of that nature for it to, the voltage just to go down completely to nothing. So this is going to have to come out, and I'm really dreading doing that because it's just really a complicated mess. I think the whole thing will come out without, you know, messing up the dial string, things like that. Again, these wires all come off and will come out. Even the transformer, I think, unscrews. The speaker does unscrew, and pretty much everything. I think I see even screws down there for the light, for the switch for the light, I guess is what that is, battery charger. So that I'm curious. Let me see if I can get this to, let's see, I'm going to turn this on, put that light on, and see if I get the battery voltage here. And yes, I do. So it's putting 6.16 volts to the batteries when that switch is switched. And let me turn it off and see what happens. Yep, okay, it quits charging. So that it is actual, what it's doing is charging the batteries. I can't get it to come back on now, but there it is. Yeah, 6.16. So that is, and you guys probably can't even see, I'm touching down here at the on the battery connector. So there's 6.16 right there, and if there were batteries in there, it would be charging them. So you could put rechargeable batteries in there, and this radio should work with them. So that would work pretty neat. Like I said, the next thing I've got to do is get this all apart and find out why, you know, my voltage goes away whenever I turn it on. And it should not do that, I wouldn't think. I need to turn it off because if it is drawing current, it may be heating this. It doesn't feel like it. So, let me unplug it too. Alright, so like I said, that's our next step on this. I was hoping maybe it would be something simple, but obviously it's not. So what I'll do is get this all apart. It's now 1:44, so I still have some time before I have to pick her up. So I may go ahead and see if I can get this mostly apart and put it in a box, and we'll go from there. So that's going to do me on this version, I believe. Like I said, this is it might be a good little radio. I mean, I know it's a Hong Kong radio. I understand that, but you know, it's kind of a neat little radio, I think. So it ought to clean up pretty good too. So I mean, it's not everybody has an Aliza radio, right? Alright, well, here is your disassembled Aliza. As you can see, it did come apart basically totally. There was a couple items that I had to cut. For one was the antenna. I could have unscrewed it, but I figured it was just easier to cut it, easy to solder it back and stuff like that. The little pilot light, I left that in also and cut the wires for that, but that will be also easy to get back in. So like I said, next step will be to find out. I'll probably eliminate all this stuff and just go for the radio itself, power the radio, and with some power, and go from there. I was going to measure that resistance with the from negative to positive on the power lead when I turn the switch on, see what that does, and go from there. Like I said, I really don't know. It could be a lot of different things, but I don't think that's supposed to go down to zero like that when you turn that switch. Pretty sure. So there's a look at the disassembled Aliza, and again, I'll take you back to your regularly scheduled video, and that'll do it. All right, you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see ya.